Creator of this magical magnificence, there is enough to be thankful for to fill every minute of every day of our lives. And yet there are those who work to take away that for which we are grateful, even life itself. It's the conundrum that we must face. We love our lives and every God-given freedom and expression, yet we must at times be willing to risk those very freedoms to preserve them. Life is precious. This is the gratitude. It is about survival, but not for self alone, but for the whole of humanity. Our very existence requires our freedoms, our God-given, unalienable rights. It is this that we know. It is this that is our joy, our love. It is the one true expression of God. And so it is.
This is to pragmatic people. Pragmatic people will sacrifice yours and mine unalienable rights granted by God and guaranteed by our constitutions. They will sacrifice those for their best benefit. They know what is better for us than we do, and they can satisfy their right, as they call it, to be pragmatic and deny me of my unalienable rights for their best benefit. As an example, the red flag law. First, we take their guns, and then we deal with due process. That's not the way we do it. That's the way that the bar does it. That's the way that the military industrial British accreditation registry, U.S. bar, Oregon State bar, and every other bar association that you can find, which are attorneys, JDs, or esquires. How did they get the authority to grant a title of nobility, which esquire is? How did they get the authority to do that? We don't have any titles of nobility. They come from the UK. Canadians have them. People that never had a revolution that were colonies of England. So, pragmatic people, such as our sheriffs, for an example, let's say somebody with all the right thoughts decides to become a sheriff. For whatever reason that is good and proper, they made that decision. And they took it to heart. And they did all that they could. And then someplace along the line, they found out that Santa Claus isn't real, and the United States is not what they thought it was, and the state of Oregon is a corporation, and it's de facto, and it's a Salem oligarchy, and they were in it right up to their neck, and that their oath was to a de facto color of law incorporated entity for profit, and they were a deputy bailiff or whatever on a county to the office of sheriff, and the sheriff was not legitimate. The sheriff was de facto. and he got it from another de facto sheriff. And they all know, and they're all pragmatic. And like John Coke said to me years ago at the Justice Court on Murray, we were standing outside talking. I told him about Article 7 amended. And he said, and what are you going to do about it? And here it is all these years later. And I found out so much more. And now we have a jury pool of several hundred. And we've had several grand juries. We've had several petite or trial juries. We have a huge jury pool of non-U.S. citizens, Oregonians, men and women on the land and soil, that jurisdiction, the jurisdiction of Article 7. We are not pragmatic. We are jura summa imperi. The lesser of two evils is still evil, and you folks put up with it. You don't have to. You do not have to be pragmatic. You can be legitimate. You can be real. You can be honest. You can be forthright. You can take a lawful oath and keep it. You do not have to be color of law, de facto sheriffs and deputies and jailers, bailiffs. You can actually be what you were meant to be. Those that provide peace, safety, and happiness to the people on Oregon. That's the deal. That's what you're there for. You are not there to stop old ladies and demand that they give you a license for a vehicle that they don't have to have a license for because they're not in commerce, and you know it. And he who can be deceived, you deceive him. Stop it. Be a proper sheriff. Keep your oath. Do the job. Donald John Trump is pragmatic. He will do, and has proven he will do, whatever he thinks is the proper thing to do, regardless of what it does to your and mine unalienable rights guaranteed by the Constitution. He likes bar attorneys and Jew bankers. His son is a Jew banker. His daughter converted and married one. And he is a Jew by conversion. And he has gone through innumerable bankruptcies with his corporations because he always has a really good bar attorney to keep him out of trouble with the incorporated color of law, United States military industrial complex that he's the president of. It's a business. It has not been government since March 1861. It's not difficult to take back. The difficult part is getting those that have been deceiving us for all of these years, such as our sheriffs, to do their proper job. If they do their proper job, and we support them in doing their proper job, then we would have to think and actually work and actually do those things required to be a free man or woman. It's not just being a slave. He who is a slave and does not know it is the very best slave you can have. And that's what we have. I was until I was 75. Once the bell rings, you can't unring it. Now, we've been ringing the bells for the 36 sheriffs and those that came before, many of them, since 2017. There is no reasonable person or one of the people in the whole wide world and the universe that would agree that you have not been notified and that you have not acquiesced. So you're either going to comply with ORS 206, DPSST, and your county's HR and requirements, or you won't. If you don't, you have to vacate the office. And that's what we will help you do. We're doing it with Sam right now on Yamhill County. We would be much further ahead if Cortland hadn't decided to deny me of due process and violate Cynthia and Kim's unalienable rights and throw me in the clink for 5 days. I'd be much further ahead. Of course, when you throw somebody in jail when they have an important appointment that has been set with their medical provider for months, and you wind up in jail and miss the appointment, golly whiz, that was not proper. Cortland didn't have the authority. Cortland only has the ability. And I deny Cortland completely. Illegitimate, illegal. Black's Law, page 416, de facto, 6th edition. You folks have to learn. I know it's going to be hard. Hell, when I found out when I was 75, I thought, oh my God, how can this possibly be? And what I found out in 75 compared to what I know now in 2026, oh my goodness. From the age of 75 to the age of 87, what's been revealed is absolutely incredible. Mike in Yamhill, he had it correct. It's really difficult when everything you thought you knew was a lie, and it is. It has been designed that way. MK Ultra, CIA, OSS, 1946, 1947. These folks are serious, and they're good at it. Think about it. JFK, RFK, MLK, 9/11, Vietnam, Iraq. Boy, Afghanistan, now Iran. It's not legitimate. They're pragmatic. There are a lot of people that have become persons to the point that they are totally the other. They are no longer men and women. They're now billionaires, and they must do everything they can to save the system that has provided them with billions of ferns. Federal Reserve notes that have no value that they can see. So they have to continue the deception to maintain some value to all that they have been so pragmatic in obtaining. Peace, safety, and happiness. That's what it's about. It's not about power or deceiving others or getting over on somebody. It's really not. But you have to do it yourself. Nobody can do it for you, and we cannot do it alone. And the bell curve proves to us that 62.5% of us will not say no to the de facto. They will not speak truth to the de facto. Yes, sir. No, sir. Most of the military is that way. You probably have to be a lieutenant colonel and going to get your battalion or something before they read you into what the truth is. March 1861. I yield.
Hello, my name's Ron Vroom, and I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I want to talk about rational thinking is required. There is no one to explain or interpret Article 1, Section 1, and I'll read that in a minute. This information you must be capable of accepting, comprehending, and inculcating into your being. Notice, that a special social compact is named Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, aka Provisional de Jure Government on Oregon, as of November 2022. www.orsja.org. That is a fact. Facts are created by living testimony in the form of an affidavit of truth filed, and that is acquiesced to by the U.S. DOJ, the U.S. Marshal Service, the FBI, the U.S. Marine Corps, the state of Oregon, aka all caps state of Oregon, and defaulted on for, with, by the de facto United States of Washington District of Columbia Incorporated for-profit governance since 1861. Oregon was subjugated into the fraud and the deception, into the illegal and illegitimate federal, wherein the city of Portland is a subdivision of the county of Multnomah, is a subdivision of the state of Oregon, is a subdivision of the United States of Washington District of Columbia, Inc. We have the DOJ stating this in supplied records to us from the attorney for the GSA on an inquiry regarding the Marco Hatfield Federal Building. That is not a definition of constitutional Republican form of government. That building has a clouded title. All of us filed quiet title foreclosure, eviction, and repossession on the GSA, the U.S. Marshal Service, the Department of Homeland Security, and the U.S. Department of Justice. In the Marco Hatfield Building, it is a federal, bogus title indeed. That is the de facto, operated by an industrial, military, executive, legislative, judicial, administrative, banker, Federal Reserve Note, British Accreditation Registry, Nazi, Jesuit, Khazarian, jihadist, communist, UN, big pharma, medical de facto, color of law, RICO society that should not be. So we took them out on Oregon, November 2022. The federal military Lieber Code, color of law, every court and judge of any sort on Oregon were all removed, as they could provide no bona fides. This was completed on Oregon, November 2022. Martial law, Lieber Code, FEMA were de facto and were removed by implementing Ex parte Milligan, which we did in 2018. We did this by creating a jury pool that was the base to support a grand jury and a petite jury, an Article 3, one Supreme Court with a small o, a small s, and a capital C, claiming original jurisdiction found in Amendment 7, Civilian Common Law Court of Record, and Article 7 prior to 1910, which is original jurisdiction in fact. Original jurisdiction is defined in the United States of America's apostrophe S Constitution circa 1859 and Oregon's apostrophe S Constitution circa 1859, before the fraud. All of us that know will not speak truth to the de facto. Our assembly has called for and filled 9 grand juries over the last 6 years. Each one was recorded and published. Each one found presentments and true bills. The true bills went to our Article 3, Amendment 7, Civilian Common Law Court of Record. That court has 9 times. That court has met 9 times, such as the Department of Corrections parking lot and in front of the Marion County Courthouse. We set up tables and chairs and tents. It was fun. Some of our verdicts, Kate, Ron, Jeff, and Suzanne are oath breakers and have no honor and may not hold a position of trust. They will vacate their offices as they may not as they may not collect a fee, as they have no honor. 89 of 90 Oregon legislators broke their oath and held session with all of us excluded. They did it. They have no honor, incontrovertible evidence to due process violation. 3 men employed by the Department of Corrections denied a writ of habeas corpus ad subjiciendum. That is a violation of their obligation to the Constitution circa 1859. They broke their oath, and an ancient honor was violated. All of us on Oregon have 36 offices of sheriff, 1 for each county, and not one is occupied by a man or a woman with a proper oath to the correct constitutions, with the laws of nature and nature's God included, with their bona fides in order. Some have been in the de facto so long they may not be capable of filling the de jure original jurisdiction on Oregon. Actually, do the complete job with lawful deputies and in all instances. So there it is in 1 page. All the best of every good fortune for the good. Ron, the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. Now I'll read Article 1, Section 1. We declare that all men, when they form a social compact, and we did that, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. And I yield.
My name is Brandon Wingerter. I am the Deputy Clerk of Court on Marion County for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, Article 3, Amendment 7, Civilian Court of Record. Where are our sheriffs? Our Article 3, Amendment 7, Civilian Common Law Court of Record has made numerous visits and relentless communications to our county sheriffs on Oregon. Why? Because our sheriffs are our first protection against governance overreach. It is our county sheriffs that should be there to assist seniors to prevent their eviction from their home and all they possess. It should be our county sheriffs who protect and defend the people from a corrupt court system, rather than ticketing them or supporting the illegitimate amended Article 7 courts. Our sheriffs seem to be avoiding any engagement with us, the people reaching out for a conversation about their refusal to see us. Contact requests are met with cricket sounds. Where are our sheriffs? It is significant that they take a proper oath to the Constitution circa 1859 with its original jurisdiction. That is, to the people rather than to a corporation. To our Creator, that is, with God included. Such a degeneration, an oath, is needed for there to be remedy in our system of governance. Let's get this ball rolling. It just takes one of you to make a difference, to get it started, to assist in awakening your colleagues in sheriffdom. Let it be so.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up.
And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.